Bloom podcast today, we continue our coverage of John Wick with Chapter 3, Parabellum. It was released on May 17th, 2019. It was written by Derek Kolstad, Shay Hatton, Chris Collins, and Mark Abrams, and directed by Chad Stelsky. I'm Colton Robertson, and I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it is sure a pleasure to have you. Might notice that this is the first one with a team writing it versus a solo Derek Kolstad, which is fascinating because this feels like the least written movie.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just me. How are you
maybe
feeling fresh off your first watch of it?
maybe that could make sense of they're setting up a lot of things to happen in the next movie, which I think this is the movie in which it could end, but there's for sure another one. But the other two, you kind of ended and you're like, I don't really need another one, Like I would like one, it'd be okay, but don't really need it. This end kind of is like, well, now the war is beginning, sort of thing, and like it feels like a new something is just to come. But that I did not think a team of writers would be writing this one. That's for sure. I mean, just pure action. That's this one. If you don't really care about the story a whole lot and you just want to see people die in the most brutal ways John Wick can think of, here's the movie so far out of 1 through 3.
Yeah.
This is that one.
You wanted those extra weapons.
I got them.
You got a few of them. Yeah.
Oh, I got them. Yeah, we got samurai swords, and like this one felt the most like they were trying to implement the most genre blends, that they could. They had like that in the beginning when he was building that, revolver, and he was putting all the pieces together, and it all Western. I don't know. I feel like there was. Maybe I heard it in my head, but I swear to God, I heard like a barrel, like a old Western kind of theme,
banjo,
a little bit, and he pops that dude in the head, so he's starting all Western, and then we work up to the knives and the axes in that hallway eventually, that they start fighting, and then we're at swords, and then
his belt.
Yeah, I mean, we got, and goddamn, Halle Berry, okay, I'm not gonna lie, this was really, I really like their sequence together when they were just killing everybody there. I don't know, the action, I am not disappointed in the slightest.
No.
Like, that's the thing. When it comes to the action, this is maybe the best that they have, but it doesn't have like the weight that all the other action had, like along with it, because the story was so good. So that's kind of where this one falls for me, is that it's
what kind of pits this one in a negative space is that as far as John Wick is concerned, the character himself, it's the exact same movie as 2.
Yeah.
He's not overcoming anything. And in fact, it's less than what he was doing in 2. It's just surviving, not with any motive beyond it. And when that's your main character, it's not as fun, I don't think. But the supporting cast got a chance to do a little bit more. I enjoyed Halle Berry in this movie. I like Angelica Houston popping up a lot. I mean, like I said last episode, this is the Sharon and Winston movie, it feels like.
Oh yeah.
And it pays off big.
Yeah, good old character was this one. It's not clear. I think it is between Winston, Sharon, maybe again. What's his king? The what king? The
Bowery.
King. Yeah, Bowery. I don't know. It's not John Wick. That's character wise. Even the Doctor was clutch. It's really every character that popped up was really cool. Other than, I mean, not to say John Wick's not cool. We just know who he is. He didn't really go on a journey or anything, and the introductions of other characters, that's always cool. We just never met, we haven't met these people. We have his Zero. Oh, that's his name? Zero in the movie? Interesting. I feel like he's the one that I know from somewhere, but I couldn't get it. In this one. The guy who is
Zero.
Maybe I don't know. That's what it
Oh,
says here. His like
Mark Discu
yes,
yeah,
da
DeCostos?
yes,
Mark
his worthy
DeCostos.
adversary for this one. I get
Yeah.
um
I would say the unworthy adversary,
mm,
is what I would
okay,
argue. He is
okay,
not I mean, like, he's on his level skill-wise,
mm-hmm,
close to it anyway, but it's the John has little to no respect for this guy,
mm-mm,
um,
yeah.
because he loves what he does, because and I think there's a part of him that hates that he wants to be like John,
Yeah, he's
and
like,
he's like, "Yo,
we're
we're
the
not the
same." He's
same.
like, "We're the same,"
No,
and
we are
John's like,
not."
"No, dude, no, not at all. You're like a fanboy. You're
Mhm.
in this for the wrong reasons, man. I don't." And I do for this movie. He's in Lucifer, the TV show, which is maybe
Mm.
where it is from. But the the world building, it felt kind of like a fan service movie. They were like, "We're gonna give you, I don't know, just way more cool lore, John Wick lore shit. I guess that's where he was trained or where he grew up, or like in that Angelica Houston, school, Russian, like a Black Widow esque,
Mm.
the Red Room sort of thing. No, that's just I guess where. What's the? Is there that organization? Is it the Red Room, or I feel like there's a
I
bigger
can't
name for
remember.
them, but I don't know. It felt kind of like that, I love just these things that feel similar to other things,
Shardani
but
Javonovich.
man, yeah, all these those poor people, man, just dancing. They're just about like they got other training to do. They fight and do all that stuff, but like even just those people on the stage, like you could tell how tired that girl was when she was like, okay, enough, and she was just like,
Collapses. Yeah.
holy fuck, and so yeah,
Yeah.
that place, it makes sense why John is so
They work them.
rugged.
They
Yeah,
work them.
yeah, he's
And it makes sense now, like the back tattoos coming back through, you know?
yeah, yeah,
That was actually like everybody has that tattoo. You see it on the back of that
mm-hmm,
dancer.
yeah,
Um,
and to know that is this like a it feels kind of like a separate entity. Like, are they like, kind of like the Bowery King, where they're not like fully in with the continent or like, the business, but they're like very mutual? Or are they like very in and part of the.
well, that's what's interesting about this movie is that I think it makes clear that everything is under the table, even the Bowery King.
Mm,
He's like,
okay.
let it be known, like the Bowery King himself. He's like, let it be known, the Bowery will be following the excommunicado of John Wick. Like that is, we're
But
not gonna fuck with that.
he has to make that choice. He says, yes, we will follow what the high table is saying, but like we are honoring that, yes, and
Well, I
probably
think
just
it's always an option.
like it's just out of fear. To break the rules
Yeah,
means
like,
you either get 7 cuts or you die or whatever.
mhm,
Yes, but
yeah,
like,
because I mean, like Winston refuses the table, and he
mm,
is absolutely under it. You know what I'm saying?
okay,
Uh,
okay, this is true. So yeah, I guess there's not really it's not a
it's
business.
hard to.
It's not there isn't like a tier system. It is well there is the table and then everyone under the table,
Mhm.
pretty much, and then I guess the man who sits above the table,
The elder.
which was cool. Yeah, and not old at all, which was funny. I
Yeah.
expected a very wizened, I don't know, just old ass dude or girl or nope, just a middle aged guy, or not even
Just a
middle
dude from
aged.
Game
I
of
don't know.
Thrones.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Um, and yeah, I don't know. It was I could have sworn. I don't know. The you said there's him from Game of Thrones, and then there are like some other people that were surprising. I thought the surprise was Macklemore at first. And then I'm like it's not Macklemore at all. It's just a random
The
guy that
surprise from
dies.
Game of
Um,
Thrones is in next movie
oh,
specifically.
okay. Because I'm like
Um,
I think I missed it. If not, okay, I'm
no,
glad that it is next
they
movie.
will stand out. You will notice them. That
Hmm,
is, you'll be like, oh, that's them.
I
It
like it.
won't be
Okay,
like they're in the background. No, they're a character. You'll
okay,
notice.
good.
Um,
Good then. But yeah, I don't know, Brother Ray. I think we'll take the cake. Ian McShane as Winston for me here as the character.
mm,
I think specifically for the scene where he knows John has to kill him, and he gives John the choice, like who do you want to die as, John? You want to die as the boogeyman, El Baba Yaga. You know, I love just the boogie.
The Baba Yaga.
It's just so cool. But yeah, no, I love just him playing the game. I don't know, the whole time. He's so just professional. The way he speaks, I love like
Very calculated. Yeah.
yeah. And the Bowery King was close. He was really close, just because, man, does Lawrence Fishburne just put on like a hell of a character there. Like just his manner, like way of speaking. He speaks in like poems almost. Like it's I forget what he said, but like whenever the Fed, I don't know, like what she had
The adjudicator.
Adjudicator. Yeah, there it is. But you know, when she pulls up to him and he, the first thing he says to her is like some rhyme or some, I don't know. But I don't know, just everything he says is always over the top, which I love.
Oh yeah, whenever he's like, I am the Bowery, you know, like y'all can't fuck with this, you know, the king is dead. Long live the king. And then he gets his cuts, you know, like that's hard
sick.
as fuck. I love that.
Legit kind of thought he died there at first. I was like,
yeah, you're supposed to.
I was
you're
like,
supposed to think
oh man, I was like, man, this really sucks to lose him there, because like there was so much blood that was coming out. I was just like, damn, yeah, they got him good there. Like, and then when he came back, I was like, okay, that return, the orange Fanta with the metal straw, you know that, and then I don't know, it was just so fun. Like that's why he almost took character, is because every time he was on screen was just incredible. But I think
no, he's a great character, man.
Yeah. But Winston, though, I think is more crucial to this story, at least, and he's classic mob story, I guess. I don't know. He displayed his power. That was, I don't know. It was kind of really cool when the adjudicator even realized, like, oh, I see what I see now. Like I guess, like, was this a part of like it? I don't think Winston was, Palpatining it up, master plan to gain more power, to get fired first and then have to go through
I think
all
this is a plan that's developed after getting fired.
Okay, so because do you think because whenever she came up to him,
he is shocked.
He's like, wait, what? He's like, yo,
yeah,
but like, I don't know. They're all about rules, It's like he knew, like, giving him that hour buffer, he should have died. Like according to the rules, you kill him. You kill him there. So like he knew he was breaking the rules, right? Like, so like, is it that he just thought he's been in the game for so long, 40 years? Like, was he truly just like, they won't care?
I think it's similar to something John's been doing, where it's just like all of them think. It's fascinating that I think that the emphasis on we have rules is that they are doing stuff that is so lawless that the logic of having rules is fucking insane. Like we are, without rules, we're animals. You're animals anyway, bro. Like you're doing terrible shit, like that is. So I think that they all kind of justify everything they do to themselves, regardless of what the rules are. And then when the rules come back around to bite them in the ass, they're like, oh shit, yeah, I guess. Like it's like,
okay.
I kind of view it as like all of them view what they do as necessary or right. And because it is such a terrible organization and a terrible line of work, that sometimes that comes back around to bite you. So I think that that's just kind of what the adjudicator kind of represents, is just kind of being like, here's your comeuppance. You've done a lot of terrible stuff. And I love that she is like the inverse of a cop. Whenever she shows up and talks to the Bowery King, she's like, I want to see where it didn't happen. Where you didn't kill John Wick.
Yeah. Not like, for an actual crime that they committed, for a crime that
didn't happen.
Commit.
Yeah. And it's fascinating to frame her that way, where she's like, I'm here to see about these murders, the ones that didn't happen. Like that sort of thing.
Wow.
It's
okay. Yeah, I didn't really. It's not. The rules are,
everything's so twisted, everything's so backward, and that like what they're doing, it doesn't even matter to anybody beyond themselves. Like it's every individual has their own motives, and to be in this line of work, the only person who is truly loyal to anybody is Sharon. And he's not, I don't even know that he's loyal to Winston. I think he's loyal to the Continental.
And that dog.
And that dog, yes. Sharon's a good dude. He's my character of the movie. I love Sharon. I love the sequence whenever, obviously, you don't know Sharon has it like that.
No.
You know?
Yeah, I was not expecting him to join the fight here.
Whenever he shuts whenever he locks it behind him and twists it, and he's all ready and everything. But when they retreat and are getting ready to come back, and he takes off his jacket and he starts getting ready without saying a fucking word, you're like, he is fucking pissed.
Yep.
You know, like I love Lance Reddick.
Yeah, never seen him like that.
It's wonderful.
He's always
he goes up
collected.
to John.
Yeah,
John's like, a new armor, huh? And he's like, armor piercing rounds. This will be fucking fine. We got this
piercing rounds. He's like, I mean, I don't know why they didn't start with that. You know, like that's what movie logic would say. But it's like that moment. I love the fact that they have this moment of like, what the fuck? Like they're like, this shit is nothing, and they're like, all right,
they are popping dudes like crazy, and nothing is happening until they bend back their heads and shoot them in the throat. Like that's fucking brutal.
Like that's. Do you think we have suits like this? Do you think our the top military wherever it is in the world, do you think we have a bulletproof suit like this? Because there was a time where there was a dude standing there tanking bullets because he knew, you know, like he literally people got behind him. Like they all lined up because they knew like that first one would be bulletproof, and then they did like a little break and then fire, you know, like it was like, this is unfair, you know, like this is
the movie that plays the most like a video game. Everything like
level 1,
you
level
are not,
2, level
you are
like,
working your way up and up, you know,
level
stairs
1 of the final fight. Like it was really a John Wick video game would fuck. Oh my god, does that not exist? Have they not made a video game for John Wick yet? Because
they have not.
Well, maybe you wouldn't want the public just because the game would be GTA 5, but only killing people. You know, it's like the only bad part of GTA 5 that parents would be like, "Oh no, stay away from that." So it's like, would you want a game where you're?
I mean, it wouldn't have to be open world, but like mission based, story based game could be a lot of fun. You know, like I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, you're right though. This one was very video game like.
I mean, like, and specifically those armor suits. It's like you play Call of Duty, you don't one gun somebody. You shoot them 6 fucking times before they die.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is like when he's like bop 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 bop. He's just like looking for the spot. I'm like, it's funny because this is the most relatable movie. Because you've played video games, you know what I'm saying?
It's like, damn, this is how I feel. Playing.
Been there, you know, like that sort of shit. It's
but even more,
you know, not literally,
like,
but
even
you know, virtually
more difficult because you have to pin them down and shoot them just behind the neck, or move their goggles and shoot them in the eye. Like it will, like I like,
dude, it's
like
insane.
It gave him another challenge. You know, like I like that.
No, I mean like. There's only so much you can do to make these movies interesting. And I think that they did what they need. They did the bare minimum of what they needed to do in this one to make it more interesting. And I would say it's not as interesting as John Wick 2, but at least the action sequences are fun.
Yeah, like the crime
John Wick
story.
4 has all of it. John Wick 4 is the shit.
I'm definitely
it's a huge level up from John Wick 3
because no stairs here. So I'm guessing it comes in the fourth one.
It's in 4.
So yeah, no Game of Thrones surprise, no stairs. So I'm ready for that. But yeah, I mean the story, it was cooler. It was like someone about to ascend to the table, taking the spot right before them. You know, I don't know. I guess. They kind of wrote themselves into a corner with him just being excommunicado and him having to just run and having to protect himself, you know, for a long time of it.
And I think that's a great idea. Like they do a fun, like this is a fun movie. You know,
Mhm.
like it's not as good as the first two, and it's not as good as the fourth. It is, I would say, it is the worst John Wick movie. But I also don't think it's by the like fucking margin that like Twitter would have you believe. I think that like
Hmm.
it's not quite as good, but goddamn, do I have a good time watching it? This is probably the John Wick movie I've watched the most.
Wow.
Um,
I to put one on, this would be the easiest just to I mean, it's loud.
background,
That
you're
is the
not,
only thing,
yeah.
yeah, but, like, it gets loud, but, yeah, this would be a perfect background, movie to throw on, and then just when the action starts up, "Alright, I'll sit back, I'll watch this for a little
Hmm.
bit," and then yeah.
It's the only one of these movies with a stretch in the middle that is actively slow. Um,
Yeah.
when they get to Casablanca, it takes its fucking time, bro. I appreciate Jerome Flynn and that and Braun's introduction, that character, but goddamn, like I'm like, what are we even doing here? It doesn't even end up being important. It's just a stop
Yeah.
along the way. Um,
That's why I like because Halle Berry, like, it was the action part is really, really cool, but, like, even the story elements that she was used for, I'm like, you had the bones here for so much more. And like they made her very badass, like the spitting out the water, putting it back in the bottle, or like the dogs like sit, no, I was talking to
mhm,
you, John. Like they like badass, cool action. All of that
yeah.
at 100%. I really have no gripes with any of the action or any of that. But it's just whenever it does slow down and whenever we're not killing people, it just is like, okay, let me just get to the next killing people scene then. Like it's kind of um what this one felt like. It just felt like I don't know, just a way to get to the next action sequence. But
Mhm.
before, I was genuinely interested in where John was going or what was happening with the greater world, like that sort of thing. But
Oh, and that's what's interesting is that like it and again, you were right. They wrote themselves into a corner. I think a key thing here is that this is the longest one so far, and it needs to be the shortest one. Um, it like
yeah,
this
they
movie does not need to be 30 minutes longer than the first one. Um,
mm-mm.
It it doesn't, like it's and I appreciate some of the longer sequences. I like him walking through the desert trying to find the elder. Like I like that stuff, but I feel like Casablanca could have been halved, which sucks because I love the setting. I love the Moroccan Continental. I think that was super fucking
Mm,
cool.
mm-hmm.
Um, there's
Yeah.
a lot to really like aesthetically, but and I appreciate that. I feel like the only reason we end up doing that scene with Jerome Flynn is so that we can get another dog threatened sequence where John's like, "I get it, but don't, like chill,
Yeah.
like I don't do it."
No, this was just a way to get to a different country and have a lot of people wanting to kill John Wick and Halle
Mhm.
Berry. It's like, yeah, I mean that and at the end of the day, that's
And
what they're writing these for. That is like what they're
mhm.
writing these stories for is to get to a point where they can just have a massive bloodbath.
No, yeah, and
But
and I will say, like, it was cool to demonstrate. He shows up in Casablanca and heads turn. It's a really good way to exemplify that he cannot go anywhere. There
mhm.
is nowhere on Earth, the entire planet, where he will be fine.
That is crazy. Yeah, like that is
He would have to go to Antarctica,
and they
you know?
granted him amnesty. Was that Sophia that granted him amnesty? Like because or who granted him amnesty? That guy that came out to greet him and killed that
I
other
guess.
dude or
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know because I think he works with the Moroccan Continental, but I'm pretty sure he takes him directly to Halle Berry, and Halle Berry shoots him immediately. And it's just
but
kind of like,
that
yeah,
was her.
she knows she's not gonna kill him, but yeah, like it's a symbolic gesture for sure. But
But yeah, that
yeah,
that part confused me though. I'm like
it's
amnesty. I'm
muddied.
like
It's
you can do that to someone who's excommunicado, like, and you're not breaking the rules yourself,
no, they
So
are. That's what's crazy is that like they are breaking the rules. That is rule breaking. You're not allowed to grant amnesty to someone who's excommunicado, but they don't get any repercussions. There's nothing that comes as a result of that. Halle Berry, once she's out of the movie, she's out of the movie, and she's not in the fourth one. There's no Morocco in the next movie. Um,
okay. Yeah, I thought that would
So
come back around somehow,
nope, nope, not at all.
because that was kind of like the whole point of her. Like, it's like, hey, I have a marker for you. You have to owe me something. But she's like, obviously, I can't do this, or they will kill me. Like that was like the whole point of
Mhm.
her not wanting to do it. And then she's like, ah, okay, I'll do it. And then, yeah, I guess maybe they didn't have anything to worry about because
No,
it
yeah, so
just.
that's my thing is that I'm like, it's not as tight as the first two. It does leave these open ends where you're kind of like, oh, that doesn't feel exactly like what the first couple movies have set up for us.
Mm.
Um, and but again, there are some super fucking cool action sequences. I love the first fight with Boban Marjanovic.
Boban. Yeah, I was like, I guess there is a guy that. I thought I saw Macklemore, but I'm like, Boban? I was like, huh? But then I'm like, you know what? It is really cool to see a giant man just fighting John Wick. I don't know. I'm like, and
Mhm,
where else are you going to get a giant man like that other than the NBA? I don't know. It's
mhm.
just kind of what you have to do. And maybe Boban was a fan of John Wick and was just like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'll be in John Wick. I mean, I would, even though he got killed, it might be one of my coolest kills. A kill with a book. I mean, was oh my god, yeah, broke his jaw first.
Mhm.
Like jammed it in his mouth and then punched it in further to dislocate his jaw and then breaks
Ugh,
his neck. Like
god
yeah,
damn.
you're dying in a brutal way, but at least you're in a John Wick movie. That's the only way you're gonna get in a
I
John Wick
also
movie.
I love his little his hiding places for stuff. Like he's got this Russian book
Mm.
for on the shelf that he's like, no one's ever gonna check this out. This is where I keep things. And I also love that it just got a picture of him and his wife in it. I don't know why that's so funny to me.
Yeah, it is all of these markers and coins and symbol or whatever that one rosary whatever was, but
Yeah,
their
gives
thing.
it a kiss, throws it in like, and
It's
that's it throws it back in. And like
yeah.
it's funny because like I'm not gonna logic my way in and out of it. I appreciate it. It's the thing that reminds you exactly what he does this for. But
How
like
would he
he
have
would
put
have
that
had to
picture
have
in
put
there?
that back. Yeah, he
I
would have had
see.
to have put that in there after she died. And it's been like a week and a half or 2 weeks, 3 weeks since she died.
Yeah, in all of this chaos, dude visited the
Yeah,
library to open this book, put that picture in there, and then leave
yeah.
and whatever. I
That's so
see.
like
I see what you're
I'm
saying
not
now,
I
but
don't like that doesn't actually bother me, but it's funny to think about. Like that's the like unless he just loves his wife that like and he loves his wife that much. We've seen that obviously. But like when he's getting out, he's like, I'm gonna throw this in here, put it on the shelf, just in case one day I need to mourn my dead wife. Like
yeah, yeah. I guess there's not really.
the headcanon I formed while I was watching it was like if he ever like he did it before he got out when he was finding a reason to get out and it was there to remind him to not get back in if he ever tried to
Mm,
access it. Like it's like a oh that's
yeah.
right I can't keep doing this like and then
Okay.
but he's too deep so it's just like a love you babe sorry gotta grab the coins
Damn. Yeah, I didn't even. The picture didn't even register, I guess, to me because I was looking at
yeah
like the other. I was just like, oh, what the
hmm
fuck is in here? Because yeah, I guess I liked, the marker was introduced last movie, and then now we have an adjudicator, right? Did I say that right, or I feel like
yep
I might have
yep
made it up? No,
you got it right
that their coin, the whatever the crucifix necklace that was then ripped and then he got branded for.
yeah
That's
that's like
insane.
their coin
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, that's what I thought. Is like but like you get branded one time, like, and she said like you're never allowed back here, right? Like this
it's a
is.
last I think it's a last resort. Like if you need to use this, you're fucked, like cuz it seems like that's what's interesting about the operations of the table versus the specific sects
Mm-hmm.
is that clearly they observe their own traditions beyond what the table has formed for them.
Yeah.
So my other interest is like when the table started. Like, did the table unite all of these different crime
Oh.
factions?
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Cause
Which could be really cool.
like it got me like a hotel is a perfect like the basement, like the incinerator, they could just bodies, are just coming in and out of there, and who's to know whenever someone's like it's weird to think, but like they got a great system, that they got set
Mhm.
up here. The analog stuff, I know I made fun of it last time and that it was slow, whatever, but now I'm really seeing the benefits. And the
It
Bowery King,
works.
yeah, Bowery King showed me a little bit of, the my pigeons. You see pigeons, I see the internet, or whatever. I'm connected, note untraceable, everything, and it's really cool to just have all of these different sects. But I like that idea of the table being the one that like united
Brought them
all of
all
them. Yeah, and
together.
that's why there's 12.
Um,
Like the 5 founding families of the
yeah,
mob or
yeah.
some shit, and then it's like no, the 12 original seats of the
I think that
table.
that's what's interesting is that, like, I think they're trying to make like, this is what 'cause, oh, yeah, Halle Berry is who grants him amnesty because she says, "I'm management now.
Yeah.
I'm not a foot soldier."
Mm-hmm.
So this is a system you can work your way up through.
Yeah.
This is something that Winston and the Bowery King and these people aspire to, is to be at the fucking table, you know?
Oh, did Cher? I guess that's probably a step up to become a concierge. Like
Mhm.
because you're not killing anymore, but he has it. He has the skill, dude. Maybe they all start as kill. Like every single one of them starts as a killer, like
Mm.
it's just how it is. Unless I guess you were one of those 12 original seats or a son of them or a daughter that gets, I don't know how it works, but it
Yeah, because
seemed,
I guess some of them are crime families
yeah, like the
as
Italian,
displayed in
like the
2, yeah.
Santorini family, or not Santorini. That's his first name.
D'Antonio, his name
Yeah.
was Santino.
Yeah. D'Antonio, like their family, it was their father, right, that had the seat, and then he gave it
Yeah,
to the
and then he
daughter,
he
and
died,
that
yeah.
was the whole debacle. So, I mean, I bet it. I mean, I don't know if they do go in on the fourth. I know you have to hold back information. I'll close my eyes so I don't even see your facial reaction. But
No, yeah, I'm fine.
and it is really really fun to think of where it could go and how it all works out. But at the end of the day, like you're right, like they are animals still. They say the rules is what separates us from the animals, but like you're just
There's
civilized,
a
you're just domesticated a little bit. It's
Yeah,
like
and there's a line that John Wick delivers in the first movie where he's like, "We're supposed to be civilized." John goes, "Do I look civilized to you?"
yeah.
Like, eh, eh,
I
no,
think the
nobody
dogs
here does.
kind of a
You know?
perfect. I don't know if I was looking too into it, but like the dogs that sit and he does not. Like the dogs are very trained, civilized. They are still
Mm,
killing machines. Like they can get down to it. Love how they go for the dick. That's what they're trained
yeah,
for, is just go for the dick. But
go for the
John
balls,
like
bro.
doesn't sit down, and on the surface, like it very simply is just like he doesn't think she's talking to him. He thinks he's talking. Like it's not meant for him. It's meant for the dogs. But like I was just thinking, like he's the one that is the wild animal. Like he's the one that you
Mhm.
can't command to do anything. He's
Right,
not gonna
right.
take a command from anybody, I guess, other than the elder. But then he doesn't. He was going to. I don't know. He was going to talk to Winston. Maybe Winston was the one who actually convinced him, Do you think, cuz like no way he was just going to walk in there and pop. Like they were definitely going to have a conversation. John like knew this. Like he wasn't, okay, the elder gave me a task to kill Winston. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah,
going to
he
do it
was
no matter what. He's
no.
like yeah. So I don't think that. But do you think if Winston were to just kind of sit silently, not say anything, and just have the gun on the table and just kind of give John the choice completely, not say anything, like who do you want to die, like, do you think John on his own decision still is like fuck it, I'll start this war, like, like do you think he gets there on his own, or do you think because he's like, but I'll still be alive. Like he is like the decision in his head that he came in with is like I have to kill you. Like it's just sorry, but
No,
this
yeah,
is
I
what it's
think
come
I
to.
think that if Winston doesn't talk himself out of it, John kills him. I
Yeah.
think that's, I think that that's the case, and I think it's just a first step. I think he's got a whole other idea of how he wants to get out after he kills Winston. I think he's like, and maybe not even an idea. He doesn't even have a plan. He's just like, this gets me back in their good graces. I'm no longer hunted. It's a good first step. It's just
Yeah,
like,
no
now I'm back
longer
to square.
excommunicado and the
One of
14
my
million contract. I guess that's fair.
right.
Nice
One of my
to read.
favorite lines in the movie, probably my favorite line. I don't remember what I put in the box, but it's the elder talking to John in that scene where he goes, I've never seen a man fight so hard to get back where he started.
Yeah, ooh, okay. I do like that. Now that like I heard it and like there were a couple lines that were not, you put yeah in the box, by the way, which is funny.
Yeah.
But
no, I was riding
okay.
high off that ending, and that ending was like, you ready to go to war? Yeah. You got the Yaz this time, didn't you?
Oh, totally.
You got him this time.
There was another one, after he fights Zero, which I guess was his name, but he says, that was a pretty good fight, right? And he goes, yeah. Like, like, that was the clearest one to me, other than the ending.
Mm-hmm.
The ending is very clear, but they are, like, 100% in the know of what they're doing. I don't like it. They know that that's his catchphrase, but not really. I see what you're kind of saying now is that he kind of has a catchphrase, but not really.
Well, and it's perfect because, like, in the second movie, Santino says, "Never one to waste words." Like that is the perfect catchphrase for John Wick. Is a single word. Like that is perfect, and for it to just be, yeah, is fucking incredible. So I adore it, but that's the thing is that while I do think this movie is a step down quality wise, I do love it. I do love watching this movie. I have a great time with it. There was a trend going on Twitter a few weeks ago that was like, "They'll never make me hate you," and it was a photo of a generally not ill-received movie, but like mixed reviews, or some of them were ill-received. But mine would probably be Parabellum. I'm like, they'll never make me hate you.
No.
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, some of the sequel trilogy, yes, but this is outside of that realm. This would be the one I would go to for the they'll never make me hate you.
This is in no way like a Game of Thrones season 8 or like even season 7.
No.
This is I don't know. It is a step down, but it is like I'm still like a kid while watching. Like I'm smiling ear to ear at like the most brutal deaths on screen, but like
it's Return of the Jedi against Empire Strikes Back. I love it. No, it's not as good as the first two, but I love it. I love it a great deal. Like
no way. Like, am I ever going to be like the John Wick franchise only involves 1, 2, and 4? 3, I'll just forget about. It's like no, I'll still remember 3. I had a blast.
This is critical for setting up some of the events in 4. Like it is.
It felt
the
very
table
clear.
and Winston and how they respond after this is what 4 starts with.
I'm ready for 4. I think the point of 3 is what I was kind of why I realized this seems like another movie is coming. And then the other 2, I got that idea at the end, but it felt very fulfilled. I was very satisfied with the story.
The second one
happened.
That's
I guess he does walk out, and it is like it's before Winston reveals his power, whatever. I was so satisfied. I'm like, wow, this movie, what a great ending. Like he's gonna walk away, he's not gonna die. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but then that twist definitely changed the game, and I'm like, okay, well, obviously there's something more gonna happen, but before that, I was completely satisfied with.
So where are you with Winston? Do you think Winston betrayed John here, or do you think John was in on it?
No, I don't think John was in on it. I think
Winston knew he'd lived through falling off a building.
That's where I'm. That's a fucking drop, dude. That's a drop.
He hit the ground fucking hard, bro.
Like the suits are bulletproof and all, but like that doesn't fall damage. I don't know. That doesn't help. Like just that gravity is just how I don't. You just.
Because Sharon's response after because it's clear Sharon's not in on it, because Winston, like, in the lobby,
well played,
Sharon's
sir.
like, well played, sir. Like, I didn't see that coming, basically, like, good shit. But there's also, like, this reservedness to him where he's like, damn, I kind of fucked with John. And then the adjudicator walks up and is like, hey, John's not out there. John's gone. And he's like, oh, I know, he will be missed.
But he's playing it. Winston played it like he knew he was alive. And in the lobby at the end, Sharon gave kind of like a smile to they were in on it. Like, I don't think it was planned at all, but maybe it's kind of like they've been in the game for so long. This is like Plan 99, or it's like something that is just known in the game.
And calculating it in that moment, the adjudicator goes, "What do we do about him?" The adjudicator puts him to death, guaranteed.
Oh yeah,
Winston gives him the best chance he has at living.
and I guess that part, like, it's not just a flat fall. He does hit like the 45-degree angle first, and then falls. So like, and maybe Winston knew that he knows the Continental. It's his building. He knows everything about it. So I like maybe he knows this is the best place for him to fall. But then how does he get John over there in the first place? It's like, maybe that's a little movie man. It felt to me at least that Winston was either like, well, maybe it is, I'm gonna try to save you, John, but if you die here, I gave you the best option I could. You were going to die from the adjudicator. Like, you just killed everybody. And you disobeyed the elder, the direct order. So like, yeah, he's done. Like, there's no shot of giving him. So maybe it was like if you die, shit. But this is the best fall you can take from the building, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
What was your favorite kill in the movie?
Boban was close. This is because Boban, the only reason I feel like I don't want to go with it is because it's early in the movie, and that feels wrong for some reason. But I loved Boban. I loved the horses. I loved the dogs. I just loved everything that was not a gun, basically, that was used.
I loved the horses. The horses were mine.
That's just so
going
fucking...
like slapping it and making it kick the dude, and then riding the horses against motorcycles,
and then like holding like on the side. Yeah. I love that. It just looks so
gnarly.
Badass.
That's gnarly,
dude. Yeah, and thank you. We didn't need horses, but I love that we kind of hit every era. We got the bikes. We actually got the real bikes. We got the horses,
dude, and the motorcycle sequence was fucking gnarly too.
Whoa! Like, that might be one of the coolest kills. He like kind of slices a dude's arm, and then it goes into the back tire to like lock it up, and then he flips over, and gets like those were creative. The motorcycle,
and it looked so fucking cool. I love when visual effects aren't designed to look hyper real; they're made to look good within the context of the scene, and it reminded me of The Matrix, which is an absolute compliment. And I think that was 100. There's literally a callback to The Matrix.
Guns,
1999.
Lots of guns. Oh, when that was that. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
And also,
when all of them come flooding in.
Also, hey Sharon, would you set the mood for our guests real quick? What LED color, do we got going on I love, I don't know if it was Matrix or they were just like, fuck it, green, looked really cool. I like that they just they have sets that the lighting is really cool. Like the museum, I don't know, the glass display, 3-level room that Winston's just like, we just use this on occasion. It's like, okay, fuck it. Thank you that room exists because it's so much cooler than any other room.
And I love the way he says it too. He's like, we need this room so we can see what someone's holding underneath the table. He's like,
okay, that's a little under the table. Literally, yes, everything is clear in there, but what people are holding under the table. They know they can't do anything to the table or whatever, but all of our enemies.
What are they planning there? But it's a great fucking time. It is simple. I feel like we've kind of covered everything we really need to.
That's the thing.
Are you ready for a rating?
I think we are there. Yeah, we've gotten everything. Sadly, that's kind of the thing. Yeah, there's not more.
I mean, and that's the. It's a very simple movie. I think it could have been better, but I like it a great deal. So I'm excited to give it a rating here. But before that, if you would head to patreon.com/pennybloom.pod, where you'll find over 50 hours of exclusive content, all sorts of book reviews, comic book reviews, movie reviews, and the like, and early access content. If you're not on Patreon, and you were 3 weeks ago, you would have already known this episode. You would have seen it. You could have watched it, all that, like this has been out for 3 weeks over on Patreon. And here we are, now you're late. You're late to the game. No, but that if you do sign up now, we've got shit out that's not coming out for a month, basically 3 weeks anyway, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. You can watch it over there. And it's a lot of fun. So you should check that out. Head to Twitter, follow at Penny Bloom Pod, follow on Instagram and TikTok at Penny Bloom Podcast. Remember to leave a 5-star rate and review and continue downloading. This is the last episode of April. Going positive with it. It was a good month. And I'm hoping May can do even better regardless. But yeah. How are we feeling? How are we feeling about John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum? Hello, everybody, and welcome in to the pen.
I'm thinking, well, we were at 925. We were at 9 on the first one, 925 for the second. The enjoyment, the action, I'm enjoying more than the previous two, but I don't think the overall movie I'm enjoying more. So I don't know. There is that maybe back and forth.
It's a weird balance. Here's my thing: is I'm not even that sure that I do enjoy the action more than I do in 2. I think that the second movie's action is extremely strong, and it's grounded in a feasible story that is pushing the narrative forward. I don't think this movie has the scene where John walks into the Continental, stares Santino D'Antonio in the face, and shoots him in the head. There's not a single scene in this movie that gets even close to feeling like that.
No.
Like
I'm just as far as action sequences go, this one's kind of hard to beat. Like in Morocco, like just all those dudes running for him. You have John, Halle Berry, and the 2 dogs. Like that. I mean, it went on for what felt like 20 minutes, but I bet was 5 or maybe 10.
Probably
I don't
10.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was badass. Very creative in the way they used the dogs, I thought, and like it was a little repetitive at some points.
Very cool stunt work though.
Yeah.
Especially by the dogs.
And did they like legit dogs the whole time? Wow,
there's behind the scenes footage of the dogs climbing up the walls and jumping onto the that part where they like jump onto the guy and they land on a mattress. Like that is they have behind the scenes footage of that happening. Like it's a really cool so yeah, I will agree. Like the action sequences themselves, yes, they are super fucking cool.
The 3-level room that he has to go through, like it is all pure when I'm just pure action. Like for the movie, that's why I say like the overall movie experience I think is lessened. But though if you could just take out everything in between and just put the pure action back to back to back, then that's like, I don't know. Then it's like a 10 out of 10, but I don't have that emotional story weight. So like it isn't a 10 out of 10. So like I don't know.
Right.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I don't know what number I'm trying to
I get what
you're
saying. But I get what you're saying.
It's
you're
8.
8.5. 8.
Yes, it is lower than the first 2, but not by much. And I think like a 8.5 maybe sounds.
I would
right,
even go.
half point. Maybe
I would even
8.25.
go 8.25.
Yeah, 8 maybe is a little too low because like there were very creative uses for things and a lot of different weapons, a lot of very different genre blending. So, and this is where it'll do, I think, the best rating wise. Well, I guess how much worse critically? I don't know. I guess I haven't really thought that way, but I think 8.25.
I'm cool with that.
I think that, yeah. A little, not just a half point, but almost a full point below the first one. But not quite. Okay. I think I can get behind that. And then, man, yeah, I don't know. The story is survive. And then power struggles at the end is basically all the story boils down to, and then meet some cool people along the way to get him to the people he needs to meet. It's like I need to
Mm.
meet this person to get to Braun, or I need to meet Halle Berry to get to Braun, and then I need to get from Braun to the Elder, and then now the Elder back to Winston. It all just, yes, these were necessary steps that he needed to take, but I don't know. It
Well,
didn't
not
really.
only that, he needed to go home to the Russian lady to get to Halle Berry, and then
Oh,
from
damn.
like
There
it
is an
goes
even
all the way
step
back
before that,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So like it is very just one step to the next. It isn't, and it is a very natural progression. I'll grant it that, but it's too long. It's too long of a movie. It stretches. It feels a little long. Um it's good looking. I'll grant it that.
mhm,
Um
yeah. But I'd say
I
2 honestly impressed me more. Like,
2 is,
it
I
which
mean, both
was
both of the first 2 are better looking
yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Um
Like, there was some cool shots, like, the ninjas, like, they're like, hiding in the shadows and coming out, or, like, things like
mm.
that were really cool. Um,
When John steps out of the shadows from behind Zero, like, that's really, really
mm.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, there was a shot of him in the desert with the stars.
Hmm.
It's over. There's no other shot that could compete for me in this movie. It was like that. I might be taking it for a wallpaper. I'm not gonna lie, and it might be my computer wallpaper for a little bit. I wonder if
No, yeah,
that
mine
was
was,
in camera, or if they
no.
altered the sky. I'm assuming the sky was altered,
Yeah.
but
I mean, it didn't look real. If it was, impressive. I don't know how that's
that's what.
possible.
If the skies look
Um,
like that in the desert, I need to get to the desert. But
mm.
that was. I just
I
like
mean,
the look
there's
of it.
no light pollution. It's just sand.
That's what I'm saying. It
So,
could
like,
be in camera. Like
it could.
it
It could.
could, but I don't think so. If it is, it's definitely my favorite shot. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
well,
Um,
let's see. Because one of the things that I was curious about was whether or not he was actually in a desert for some of the time. Um, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
They did they did film in Casablanca. They did film in Morocco. Um,
yeah, I'd say. I mean, I'm not finding anything that is like saying yes, this is real and whatever. But um, at least there's real pictures of them on sand dunes and like in the desert
mhm.
filming. So I guess it could be. I don't know.
Ah,
Um,
yeah, they filmed in the Western Sahara. So, yeah,
okay, and
could
it
very
is.
well be. Because
Yeah,
those were gorgeous sequences. But
my
yeah,
doom.
mine was the my Arrakis.
Mhm.
No, it was Winston and the adjudicator standing over Santino's dead body on the slab with the two burning ovens behind them. They're like
Ooh.
silhouetted by them, and then there's light pouring in
Yes.
from above. Super
Yes,
fucking
yes.
pretty. Absolutely loved it. So that was my shot. But yeah, it's pretty at a lot of points, and the action is really well directed. It's really well choreographed. Um, uh, Keanu doesn't get nearly as much to do. Nobody gets nearly as much to do besides maybe Ian McShane. And even that is just more of the same. He doesn't have a lot of range. He just does his thing in the
Yeah.
role. He's got a lot of range, but the actor does, but the character does not. Um, so, I what do we give? 1,
8.
7 at
That's
most.
what I'm saying. 7 seems kinda generous, which
Yeah,
is
I would even say 6.5 is probably more where this movie falls quality wise.
like, the action is good. I think this is a perfect example of why a pure action movie isn't ideal. It sounds like it on paper, if you just
Mm,
had end to end pure action, but you need something to make it worthwhile. You need something like I don't know, a better reason that they're fighting, or I don't know. It was just very bang 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 bang, no real arcs, no
mm.
surprises, no big what the fucks or whatever. It's just kind of, yep, that's how it's going down, or yep, those guys
Yep.
are all dead.
And it's very cool. It's
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Like it is a cool movie to watch. I will
Yeah.
grant it that.
I like
Um,
yeah, with a 6.5, it's a 7.08 or a 71. Um And yeah, like about a set, like around a 7 out of 10 is
yeah.
where this fall, and like that's this is the lowest of the franchise, and that is impressive. Like this is,
and it will remain so.
yeah, I'm pretty confident in 4. I don't want to go into it like that, but after this one, I'm feeling pretty good to
Yeah,
watch the next
four's
one.
instant reaction was very strong. As far as like general audiences, they were like, "That's one of the greatest action movies I've ever seen." But as time has gone on, it's like it's become more mixed. It's kind of like,
Mm.
well, yeah, I mean, like
Ooh.
it's 2 hours and 50 minutes of a John Wick movie. So if you can pull that off, you can pull it off. If you can't, you can't. And I'll reserve my true thoughts for how I feel about it until we
Mm.
get there. But yeah, it's I'm excited for it. But yeah, at a 71%, we will conclude the third movie in the John Wick quadrilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, we'll be back next next week with the beginning of a new project. But in the meantime, we will conclude this franchise on Wednesday with John Wick Chapter 4, and we will conclude the Bad Batch Season 3 this Friday with
Ooh.
the Bad Batch season finale, the series finale. Um, on the Penny Bloom podcast this Friday, and then next week we kick off the action movies galore in full fucking force, baby. So very excited to be covering Akira on Monday and Die Hard on Friday, and to split the difference, we're going to be beginning our Anya Taylor-Joy spotlight on Wednesday. In anticipation of Furiosa, we'll be covering. Sorry about that. We'll be covering Emma, Last Night in Soho, and The Menu ahead of Furiosa. So next Wednesday, we're doing Emma with Claire DeGeneiro. She'll be back for the first time since The Dark Knight
Mm-hmm.
Rises. So I'm very excited for that. But yeah, with that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, peace, love, and bloom, and always praise Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.